Hello guys, it is Jonathan, and today I want to talk about some tips for living in the big city as a highly sensitive person and as an introvert. And having lived in a big city, I've normally lived in, medium-sized cities for most of my life. This could apply to that too. But having lived in a big city for years, there were times it was a bit overwhelming for me, but nevertheless, I've learned how to enjoy it and to live a good life in a big city. And I don't live in a big city right now. It's about Metro's about 100 and something thousand. It's not a super big city, but just some tips for navigating that and the things that I've learned. So number one, when you choose to move to a big city, and I don't know if you already live somewhere and you've already moved and maybe you're not in the best area for you, but if you're trying to find a place in a big city, or even, try to find a place that is not that busy. In every city, some more than others, there's places in big cities where it's more introvert friendly, it's more quiet. Try to live near parks. Try to put yourself in proximity to places in nature where you can rest and recharge yourself and be able to recover from all that stimulation from the outside world. And kind of tying into that, find a community. Find a community. See if you can find a good, quiet neighborhood. See if you can find, some neighborhoods are set up really well. There's parks and stuff nearby, and it's set up very well. And even in a big city, that's very good. And another tip is try to find places that you can slow down your mind, places that you can recuperate your health. So when I was living in Austin, Texas, big city, one thing that I would do is I would go to the sauna and I would go to the gym and I would take ice baths. These health practices helped me tremendously as an HSP and helped me to recover from all the extroversion, all the stimulation. What's another good tip? I would say you have to be proactive with your time as your recovery time. You need to have maybe even schedule times throughout the week that you're going to go out in nature and you're going to recover. Because if you don't do that, if you work in a big city, let's say you go out and you work and then maybe you go out with friends or something, which is great, but there could come a point, and I've had this with many times, where I'm working in a busy environment and then I'm going out with friends having a good time, but it was so much stimulation for me, it was so much energy or whatever, I would just end up crashing from that and want to be inside for days. So learn from me, from my experience, in that you have to be proactive with as an introvert, and you have to understand yourself and know yourself, and that sometimes you get so much stimulation that you crash from that. And let's talk about work. So in a lot of big cities, there's a lot of opportunities, like the opportunity to make more money. But I think a lot of times it can come at the cost of your mental health, especially as an HSP. And you have to ask yourself, is it worth the risk, the negative impact on your mental health if you're not doing something that aligns with your personality as an HSP? Many introverts are not HSPs, and they're able to handle these chaotic work environments. I shouldn't say chaotic, but maybe just busy. And I know for me, that didn't go over so well. I was able to succeed at my job. My job's in the big city. I was able to, own it, but it would definitely come at the cost of my mental health. It would be so much stimulation, so many different people that I had to work with. And a good tip is, maybe you need to work from home. Maybe you need to do freelance writing or something. Maybe you could find some slow living, whatever, coffee shops that you could work in. How long have I been going? About 5 minutes. And yeah, try to find something that aligns more with your personality. And if you're in a tech and you're I don't know, you're working in a skyscraper or something, that might be zapping your energy. Even if you're making good money, you know, maybe you could find something that aligns more with your, you know, personality. Or maybe you could find somewhere that is in a quieter part of the big city and like a, you know, just a slower work environment or whatever. Also, one thing that I've found is that like some big cities are more suited to HSPs than others. So Austin, Texas, fortunately, is a wonderful city. There's a lot of nature, you know, integrated throughout the city, and there are some very crowded places, and I've learned to avoid them for the most part. Sometimes you do what you have to do for work or whatever, but you know, try to, if you live in a city, I've been to some big cities, they're just dead. They just don't have that many parks, they just don't have that much nature integrated within the city. And you know, it's just so important to have that as an HSP. And you know, if you live in a big city that doesn't have that and it's impacting your mental health negatively, maybe consider moving. You know, maybe you could live in a city nearby, or you know, maybe at a different part of the city that has more, that's in closer proximity to nature, and it's just more slow, has some slower living neighborhoods with lots of trees and so forth, which fortunately a lot of that was in Austin, Texas. But some cities, and I don't want to name any names right now because none come off the top of my head, but you know, I don't know for sure, but there are a lot of cities that I've been through. It's just dead. It's just like chaotic. It is not suited as an introvert. And yeah, guys, so that's my tips for being an HSP in a big city. And I hope that helps you guys. And you know, hit the like button if you're an HSP that needs some HSP living tips. I hope you enjoyed the video. And don't forget to hit subscribe if you want to see more HSP content and also healthy living and holistic mental health. And that is it. Thank you for watching, and I shall see you in the next video.